recording again. So let's look at how we can actually set the parameter in code. I showed you how to debug it in the debugger. We clicked on the circle, we saw we set the trigger and it did its thing, but how do you connect that to an actual button? So I say create C# script. We'll call this hero, I don't know, logic. I'll attach that to the hero. Okay. Increase the size of this thing here. This will do a lot of stuff, but for now, check for button press, set the trigger for wave, show how to communicate between script and frames. First thing we're going to need is, and I'll say private this time. If we're setting a property on an animator, if we're setting a parameter on an animator, we're going to need a reference to the animator component, right? And we're going to need a key to press. So in our start, we're going to get a reference to the animator component. How do we do that? The get component command. So we'll get the animator attached to us because we're a game object, right? So from this script, we'll go into the game object we're on and we'll say get composer animator. In update, we'll call hero logic update. And we'll see. If we actually do have an animator attached to us, it means that we're a valid character with an animator, with a controller. So how do we know if we have an animator? If animator is not equal to null. If animator is not null, that means that in the start method, get component was successful and returned a reference to an animator. Okay? So now if we're in there, we'll check if, how do we check a key again?
Get key.
Input get key. We'll use get key down because we only want to do it on the frame we press it. We don't want to jam on the trigger every frame. Key to press equals true. If that's true, we will do the logic. And the logic we want to do is what? We want to do something on the animator. We want to do something with that trigger. In fact, we want to set trigger. So we're going to set that trigger to true. There's two interfaces for parameter stuff. You can either set a parameter by index or you can set it by name. I don't like using the by index version because if you happen to change the order in which your parameters live here, then your script becomes broken. Now all of a sudden the second parameter is the first one. So I usually do it by name, by string. So I'm just going to say set trigger wave. And on my hero, key to press, I'll change that to, oh, I don't know, semicolon. That sounds great. So I'll press play. Click into here. It's going to loop forever until I press semicolon. It's going to wave. Trigger was set. I'll go back again. Waves again. Waves again. Waves again. So that's the simplest example of setting a parameter through script by getting the animator and then doing set trigger when a key press was pressed.